Michelle Obama was on with Jimmy Fallon show, and she did. It was
the evolution of mom dancing, basically. Just stupid little moves that moms on the dance floor will do.
Michelle Malkin, there's so many Michelles, you have to make sure you get them straight. She did a parody of that just to make a point about their view of liberals.
DMX singer in the background?
Good lord.
Yes, we're gonna have to watch all of them. All of them are worth seeing.
20 minutes long, actually. She was incredibly sweaty by the end of it.
This is great writing. Who wrote this for her?
The Crowder, actually.
This is the best. Except there's gas in the Prius. Whoops. It's a fucking hybrid, you jackass.
She's leaving.
Okay. All right, I have so many things to say about this. First of all, I want to talk about the writer and the choreographer. Someone wrote "Stimulus, Make It Rain." They're like, Michelle, that part, make it rain with your fingers like this. That's so
Nailed
clever. Nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, the whole thing, you know, it looked like to me a white person doing a caricature of a really dorky Asian.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
Or of another really dorky white person, at least.
Yeah, like a dorky white person
Yeah.
doing a caricature of a dorky Asian who doesn't know how to dance. And then she did it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
You know what? Maybe there's a little side note, but in general, in the Asian community, do they feel the same way a lot of black people feel about white people dancing? So they're like, white folks can't dance like us. I've never thought about that.
Here's the thing, okay?
Who's the better dancers?
Well, Asian community, we're not a monolith, we're very different. She's Filipino, and the Filipinos are supposed to be the blacks of the Asian community.
It's got the Spanish influence
in the sense that,
historically.
that they're good at basketball and sports, and they're good dancers, and they're supposed to have more rhythm, they're good singers, all that kind of stuff. Except she smashed that stereotype, you know.
Well,
that was horrible.
Anytime you do like a dance parody like that, like it's supposed to be fun. So I'm sure that in her mind, she's not taking herself too seriously, but you know that she's also trying to look good to some extent. Like she's not 70. She wants to look attractive and everything. And I've actually never been as turned off by a video of a woman dancing, I think. Because I've mentioned on the show before that I actually have had a crush on her. Yeah. That was horrendous.
You know what's weird? Every time, I think it's been mentioned before, Michelle Malkin, Michelle Bachman, that there's been this, Sarah Palin, I remember Ben said it, there's been this general, you hate the stances and the things they say and the ridiculous things that come out of their mouth, but then they're like, but you kind of think they're hot. And she was on the list, and I was always the one that's like, please, what are we talking about? That is actually the first time I was like, she seems like a little bit of fun. It's the exact opposite.
Really?
It's the very first time.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yes, it was
I
bad
get that.
dancing. Yes, it was stupid points that they always make. We could expect that. But that was like, that was a little endearing if I'm that stupid to agree with the things that they're portraying.
I actually felt uncomfortable watching it, and I felt a little bit sorry for her because it was just so bad.
It was that bad.
It was too long.
Bad.
Yeah, let's not take away that part. It was that bad.
And I think there's something wrong with her because she seems so full of anger and hate. Like whenever she talks, all I see is this hate spewing out of her mouth, and she seems so angry. But at the same time, I'm thinking, she's kind of hot. But here, it was like the reverse for me, where for the first time she was smiling and she seemed, like you said, more human, more likable, except I found it incredibly unsexy. It was just like, it was awful. But now we're gonna be accused of being sexist for commenting on our looks. But It is
that,
what it
that
is,
was going to
yeah.
happen no matter what. A couple of substantive points I want to make, though. The actual dances that she was using to mimic people, the points that she was trying to make, things like the fact that Obama apparently golfs too much, coming off of the George W. Bush presidency. That's ridiculous to talk about
Any
that.
rich person that's been in politics.
Exactly.
that
Like
dwells.
mocking golf. You don't think everybody watching Fox, the average 75-year-old Fox
John
viewer?
Boehner's schedule revolves around his golf
Yeah,
schedule.
exactly. But also like the fact that this started with the Jimmy Fallon, Michelle Obama thing, where it was a perfectly harmless thing that they had to turn into an attack on an entire ideology, which I think is another example of how conservative they don't get funny. Like they just don't understand it. That's why there's no Jon Stewart on that side.
I think we should do a parody of her. So
I want Anna
we'll
to
just
do
have
it.
bad dancing.
Yeah.
And we'll take a knife and we'll slash tax cuts for the rich. You know? And then I don't know, what can we do for drill baby drill?
You
I
could
don't
do
know.
the piss on the poor and be a rich guy.
Yeah, making it rain on the poor.